Peace, family, Hotep. My name is Rhythm Phoenix. At least that's the name that I go by when I am producing beats, making mixtapes or whatever. And then when I am on my my mystic expansion, i.e. when I am, explaining things to you on the level of my consciousness on earth right now, and how it resonates with higher levels of consciousness that are a part of me, a part of you, a part of us all, as dealing with the world soul. Anima Mundi is what they would call it, one of the ancient symbols for Isis, right? Which is all set in ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt. This is also Demeter. This is also representative of a lot of those goddesses, you know what I'm saying? Lakshmi, Prakriti, Parvati, Ashe to all those deities on the goddess level, the Womanites, we'll say, the true original human of the earth, for the woman brought forth the seed, right? Ashe to all. I'm pouring libations right now to all those gods and goddesses that I just stated. And then I will say Ashe to Heru, Ashe Aset, Ashe Osiris or Asar, Ashe Heru, Ashe Heru Perkart, Ashe Heru Kuti, Ashe Heru and Ashe Tahuti, Ashe Ra, Kepratim, Ashe Kepr, and Ashe Nunu. Ashe the Nun, the Nunu, the Nunyu, right? Ashe to all gods and goddesses known and unknown. Ashe to all deities known and unknown. Ashe benevolent deities, all right? Benevolent deities are massacred. That's how, we putting it, you know what I mean? When I mean malevolent, I'm talking about what y'all know of as evil, okay? Hurtful, hateful. Benevolence, goodness, well-beingness, healthiness, wealthiness, not pertaining just to having, $200 in your hand, like your boy, what's the nigga's name? Young, black youngster. I don't even know the nigga's name. He was signed to the CMG crew, I think, with Yo Gotti them. I'm not really into all them dudes. I just do research and stuff. And the dude got stopped because he withdrew $200,000 out of his bank account, which he's a rapper, whatever. He had got a deal, he got signed, he's down there, and he's a down south, icon or whatever. And so I had just recently watched that. I don't be knowing who these characters are. It's just a bunch of games and gimmicks to me, and it's nothing real to me. I was a part of that stuff in like the early 2000s, late 90s. That was me, doing stupid shit, selling crack on the corner, guns in my shoes, I used to have a bruise on my ankle because I would always keep a deuce right there in my boot. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna lie to you, I did get the idea from listening to, it was one of these songs a long time ago. I was listening to Smith and Wesson or somebody, and I literally was like, yo, that's a good idea, because I didn't really care to put a fucking, gun in my boot. But I was doing that shit, you know what I'm saying? And stupid shit like that could have lost my damn foot, But anyway, I lit the incense for the gods and goddesses, and I want to say rest in peace, Ashe to the musical icon David Bowie. Now, I told y'all when I first started this stuff that what I do is when celebrities, quote unquote celebrities, die, and it depends on who they are, you know what I'm saying? I tend to, as soon as I find out that they have passed on to the other side, I tend to want to tap into, what was going on before they died, what were they saying, what were they talking about before they died, and what kind of albums were they making, what kind of music was they making, what were they saying in their lyrics and everything. Because I feel like what happened to me is when Michael Jackson made the transition, whether you believe that or not, some people believe he's alive and all that, we get into that another time, or we'll get into that later. I had tapped into, this is not relating to the dreams now because we're gonna get into that later too. I tapped into the music, and it was like almost he was talking to me through the music, telling me, you know, don't just focus on me, brother. Look at my forefathers. Look at the ones who inspired me. You know, the Jackie Wilsons and the Frankie Lymans and all and all that. And I did it all except for looking at country music because I really could care less about the country music. I did look into the blues and all that though, Muddy Waters and all that, and then I watched Cadillac. The movie, it was called Cadillac, I think. Cadillac Records. It had Beyonce, Jamie Foxx in a minute, and you know, I did a whole bunch of research, and I realized what music was about. How they took our music from us and took our styles, the Caucasians and or the ones who run the music industry, okay, and the record labels and those little labels that's under the big record labels. You know, so many things going on out there with the music industry. I learned how they stole so much from us, so much of the sound, so much of the music, everything. And then you have particular people who never forgot where like the origin of blues, where jazz came from. You know, certain people think jazz came from the Jews or whatever. That's just this is erroneous bullshit. But you know, jazz and all this stuff. You know, and we was rapping probably before we even were recorded on something to be recorded on. You know. We've been doing music for thousands of years, so you know we never needed anybody 6,000 years on down to give us, or 4,000 whatever, to give us any type of music and musical instruments to express ourselves. We had our own, you know. It's just that we adopt, and when I say we, I'm referring to our ancestors. We adopted, you know, certain people's ways of music, and we adopted particular instruments, you know what I mean? But there was one instrument called the sistrum that is so ancient it was on the hieroglyphic walls of Egypt, or Kemet. The word hieroglyph, no, they were not calling, ancient Kemites were not calling what they put on the walls hieroglyphics. They were called Mechunecher. Mechunecher means the divine words of the gods, or the divine words of God, as in Ua Necher. The Ua Necher represents the oneness of all the gods and goddesses that were in ancient Kemet, northern, southern, down to Nubia and Meroe and all these areas. And so the ancient Kemites knew that before they even existed, their ancestors, who were the Nubians, the Congo, the people of the Congo, and all the way up there, and you know, or down there, or over there, Ethiopia, you know, Kenya, and all these areas where, you know, this is where the first black people were at. But my whole thing today is to get on some shit that, like I told you, I tap into these energies when they are just leaving the earth. I can't explain that right now. We'll get into that later on or whatever. But I tell you right now that when Michael Jackson died, he introduced me to the history of music and to the history of black music and the dances and every damn thing. I learned so much that I can't even begin to tell you. I got in touch with all his old music, all his new music, all his middle music. I studied everything about him. You know what I'm saying? I was just studying everything about him. You know, and listening to his music all the time, and I was just tapping into that energy all the time, and I was just being shown so much about the music industry. And excuse me, found out it was extremely crooked, and that at the end of the day, the music industry is filled with a bunch of corporations and companies that are really not really, like, they're not living people. And yet, law has been created to where corporations can take you to court. You know, cities and counties and states and shit can take you to court. But these, like, you know, Los Angeles versus Demetrius Bluff, you know, whoever. You know, Los Angeles County is not a person. You see what I'm saying? Los Angeles County really is just, according to certain sources, just documentation, just some shit on some paper, which means that every county in America is not really real. It's all made up shit. You know, think about it. When they first came over here, what did they do? They started some shit that they got from where they was running from, You know, came over to Jamestown and almost didn't make it. They had to eat each other. They was getting killed by all the damn Native Americans. You know, and they were making, you know, they were getting sick. They couldn't find food and all this shit. They were cannibals and shit. Jamestown, you know, you got to study the history on Jamestown. Don't believe me, they were eating each other. Okay, they were scared shitless of the Indians, you know, because the Indians had all kind of shit. They knew the grounds, you know, they knew how to get around. They knew how to trap you and all this stuff. There's movies on this stuff, man. But anyway, so Michael Jackson, he did that for me. And then when NWA came out, the movie Straight Outta Compton, okay, I realized that out of all the people, all, you know, the members of NWA, only one of them died, Eazy-E. I said, okay, he's at the top of the apex. You know, he's the Capratem of the whole movie. He's Ra of the whole. He's the ego of the whole movie. He represents the whole movie. His story is really the movie. You know, I don't know if people, you know, relate with me on that, but I'm gonna tell you like this: Straight Outta Compton is Eazy-E, right? Now you take Eazy-E, you got 33. You know what I mean? When you reverse the letters, the two E's. When we dealing with 33, we dealing with the crucifixion. Many people have been misinformed that crucifixion means to be dead or to die or to be crucified or sacrificed. If the only part that it means to represent when dealing with sacrifice is the sacrifice of strengthening self, right? You know, getting rid of all of the low energy, low nature, low man stuff, and trying to resonate with higher man, higher mind, higher consciousness, and things like that. So when you do that, you become Hebrew, or one who has crossed over. Okay, representative of the planet Jupiter. All right, which is not Biru, according to Lawrence King who wrote the Enuma Elish. This is symbolic of the planet of the crossings, or planet X. Okay, X represents the cross, or X represents multiplicity. Okay, and then we have the representation of the encompassing spirit over the waters, which represented in Hindu Sesha or Shesha, and Vishnu resting on this mini serpent-headed deity known as Shesha. From Vishnu's navel springs out a lotus type of plant, and on the plant, or coming up out of the plant, is none other than what we call the creator, or Brahma. Brahma represents the creation or the creation process personified, and all of the head gods, as one god of all of these religions out here, they all represent Brahma, they all represent Ptah, they all represent Ra as the creator, or what they would call it in Gnosticism, the demiurge of this world. Because what you're saying is that you're saying that I took a substance that without me there would be no form, no creation, no light, and all this stuff. When before you there clearly was different aspects of reality other than the 3D realm, where we have to do these things. We have to eat, we have to shit, we have to sleep, we have to breathe, we have to do all these things in this world. But it seems to me that even in the dream world, we don't even have to worry about time. We don't have to worry about taking shit. Only thing when we're dealing with the dream world is something in the dream world is helping us if we are in a process of having to defecate or use the bathroom while we are in our beds at night. A dream becomes created within, I don't know what. Time does not matter. A platform is created, a stage is created. You're in a damn classroom with lockers on one side of the wall and urinals on another side. You gotta pee, and the urinals is right inside the classroom, and so you go over there to pee, but you realize all of a sudden that you're dreaming because this environment does not add up, you know, and you're dreaming so the logical mind, which something is utilizing your logical mind to wake you up into this reality world so you can go use the bathroom and piss. Because that's dealing with the 3D reality. The logical mind is dealing with the 3D reality. Anything illogical, such as piss, pissing in a classroom because there's urinals on one side of the wall, lockers on another side. In between, there is the classroom itself with the teacher giving some type of lesson on a black chalkboard, and you got to piss in the classroom. You're one of the students, and you have to piss. Well, go piss right there on the wall. Well, you know, all of a sudden things happening. I don't know. I can't, you know, in your consciousness, and you say, well, damn. And before you even be pissed in the bed in reality, in the real world, you get up and say, well, damn, I almost pissed on myself. You know what I mean? Because I've had these dreams. I've had dreams where I've had to piss, and I end up waking up before it happens because of a dream that I'm having about me needing to piss. So I know people around the world, they've been through this, they've experienced this. So share your experiences. It's time. We are in the age of Aquarius. Stop dealing with the bullshit on shutting yourself out, which is really the veil of Isis, because Isis represents wisdom, right? Another symbol for wisdom is Tahuti or Thoth or Trismegistus, Hermes, Mercury, right? And this is the unveiling or the apocalypse, which means the revealing or revelation of the knowledge of the 7 churches, the 7 stars in the hand. These are your 7 chakras, okay, of your transcendental self. All right. This shit has been written about since probably before the 1700s, you know what I mean, by all these Germans and stuff, man, these Jews and all that, and they've been studying us and the melanin, the chemical melanin for I don't know how long. You know, it's just so many things going on, right? So what happened was, I'm sorry, I got off. So with Eazy-E, right, and number 33. I tapped into Eazy-E and he started showing me about the AIDS shit, right? He died from AIDS, whatever. I know for a fact, watching certain interviews, that certain crew members of Bone Thugs and Harmony, who was one of the last dudes that was with him alive in New York City, and along with Ice Cube, and this is just not according to the movie because that was not shown. It was shown minutely. It was slid by you because what happened is Eazy-E walks into this club. There's Ice Cube with his Lynch Mafia, his Lynch Mob crew, and Eazy-E slides out that he's in New York with Bone Thugs and Harmony or whatever. So, but they don't show you Bone Thugs and Harmony in the movie and everything like that. So it's kind of tricky. And the time frame is tricky too. Him going to Jerry Heller and talking about how he was fired and all that, and Jerry, you see him coughing and all that. So the time frame is mixed up in the movie, and you can't take the movie. Even Jerry Hessler will tell you this. You cannot take the movie as following the grain, okay? And you should never go against the grain. So Eazy-E was showing me all these things, and what I mean is the spirit of Eazy-E was showing me how some shit called AZT was killing niggas left and right, especially in Africa for a long time. We talking about the 70s, the 60s, okay? Before it was 80s mainstream news and things, and before the gays was dealing with it, before it was even called AIDS, and before it was called this gay syndrome, and it was probably called some form of a cancer and things like that, man, of some type of virus, which they say is what it really is, and what Eazy-E showed me, along with going back to lectures by Bobby Hemming and them, now that I know now, because he was telling us this shit in 2008 and before that, in the 90s, that AZT was killing you and was the cause for autoimmune deficiency syndrome, AIDS, which messes up your whole immune system and shit, if you want to call it an immune system. And so that's what I was given from Eazy-E. Now today, January 14th, I did a lecture or a talk, whatever you want to call it, and I did a shout out to my brother Jeremy. His birthday was on the 7th, so I did that, and I released the video I think 2 days after. Well, that following day, January 10th, I heard that David Bowie passed away. I said, what the hell? That's crazy. And nobody had heard about David Bowie for a long time. And then who was married to Iman, the model Iman, for 17 years or plus. And we know that David Bowie, for I don't know how long, had different color eyes, one black, one blue. We go to the movie with Angela Bassett and another guy, the white guy. They in space and they commingle, and next thing you know, they got different color eyes and shit. It was a flash when I seen. I said, damn, that's the first thing I got when I was thinking about David Bowie. I like his music. I never followed him or nothing like that. I liked his music. I was introduced to the movie Labyrinth by brother Bobby Hemmett, dealing with the pineal gland and everything. And now I've come to realize that after listening to David Bowie, that David Bowie was on some shit. You know what I mean? And one of the first things that my mother said when I told her about David Bowie and how I downloaded his new album Black Star. Black Star, same name as the group, Most Def and Talib Kweli, right? And he's saying that he's a black star. He say, I'm not a white star, I'm a black star. That's what David Bowie says in the song Black Star, which they told you about on ABC Nighttime News, I think, with that host. But they didn't even tell you the name of the damn album. They was just talking about how he had a new album coming out, and it was planned for him to release the album around the time that, I don't know, that he thought he was going to die or something. I don't know, because many people in the world did not know that he had this disease. So, so now we know, before I say that, we already know the agenda of how they want to commingle the blacks and the whites, whether for good or whether for bad. Now, they can do this all they want to. I don't care. I just want it to be known that it's being blatantly shown in Hollywood to present to the masses to do this. You know what I mean? And it almost, and some people say, hey, it could be some type of survival mechanism. Well, if you commingle with us, with more melanated beings dealing with the skin pigment, you're not going to look the same. You're not going to be the same. Because the melanin itself is going to give you different characteristics than would be a Caucasian or European or German or whatever, or Neanderthal and all this. We're different, completely different in aspects of the melanin and of the neuromelanin, from our skin colors and our shades, whatever you want to call it, to the mental capacities and the brain functionings and the central nervous system and the endocrine system, the pineal gland, pituitary gland. Okay, pituitary gland deals with everything from how big you are to your just everything dealing with your health. Right? The pineal gland, melatonin, antioxidant, supreme antioxidant, right? It secretes melanin, right? This substance that it secretes. They call it the fine stuff in ancient chemistry, according to Dr. Richard King in his book Melanin. So, David Bowie, I tapped into his energy by downloading the Black Star album. I listened to it, I watched the videos, I said, oh, he was on some shit. He was talking about death and dying and shit. The whole album, he talking about it. He got 7 songs on the album. Right? We're dealing with the 7 chakras. We're dealing with the ascension process. Right? We're dealing with the fact that he utilized the same symbol, which is a star, just in the reverse mode. It's a black star. The Stone Temple Pilots album, there was an album with a white star and a black background. It's by Stone Temple Pilots, and that lead singer, I forgot his name, if I'm not mistaken, died on October 26, 2015. Alright, we're dealing with the same genre of music, although David Bowie is known for his jazzy, electronic jazz. He's almost credited to have brought forth that electronic jazz type genre and stuff, because he played all those instruments, which I did not know till recently. Did not know till recently that he was such an actor. I was led to download a movie called Exhuming Mr. Rice. Do you download the movie? I'm telling you, I was led to download this movie. In the movie, David Bowie plays Mr. Rice. I just watched it. David Bowie plays Mr. Rice, and he's a friend of a little boy, just like Michael Jackson used to do. He's a friend of a little boy who has cancer and who was fighting for his life. And Mr. Rice, i.e. David Bowie, becomes his best friend. He tells the little boy he's his best friend. The little boy's name is Owen. Owen sounds just like Odin and Odom and all that. We'll just say Odin as in Wednesday, right? So the little boy is close to Mr. Rice. Mr. Rice passes away, right? And then the little boy goes through his grieving process and searches through his things, and Mr. Rice has left him something, and basically it goes on to say that Mr. Rice was actually 300 and something years old, that he had a potion, an elixir of life that gave him a life every time he might have been about to pass on. He would just go ahead and take this potion and he'd live another life. So life in a bottle is what it was. Life in a bottle, okay? Remember that, life in a bottle. Okay, so this life in a bottle he finally found at the end of the movie. Now, what happened was, after learning all his lessons from Mr. Rice and everything, and Mr. Rice leading him with codes and with little messages and stuff that he had left before he passed away, it's almost as if Mr. Rice is helping him from the afterlife with these codes, helping him find this elixir of life that Mr. Rice, or i.e. David Bowie, wants him to find. So there's a little boy by the name of Sam. Sam is a key word, because we're dealing with Sam, Soma, Somna, Som is a body, okay? So, and also, David Bowie died at the age of 69, and the symbol for the crab or Cancer, or the constellation Cancer, is a 6 and a 9 on its side, and it's a water sign. So we're dealing with Aquarius. Well, the next sign that we're going into from Capricorn, which is the sea goat, is Aquarius. So follow the man with the water pitcher. It's crazy, right? So right now, David Bowie got the water pitcher right now. He pouring down some things. So the little boy gives the potion to Sam. Sam, who he did not like, because you got to watch the movie to understand why he did not like Sam. Sam is sick in his bed. He's doing very, very bad. Instead of Owen taking the potion, and his hair, he's not taking any more. His hair is growing. He's not taking any more stuff, chemotherapy and all that stuff. He's basically healed. Doctor tells him that his count has dropped, and he's so happy. His family is happy. He doesn't even take the potion. He gives it to a guy who needs it the most. His name is Sam, and then that's basically how the movie goes off. Beautiful movie. This is what David Bowie shows me. Okay, so I said there's more to this, and I'm gonna have to find out. I didn't know that David Bowie played Nikola Tesla in the movie called The Prestige, but with the same dude who plays Batman, Christian Bale, right? Christian Bale, another Christ figure. I keep hitting my desk. So I haven't even gotten into the pot of what this has led to, okay? Because what ended up happening after studying David Bowie, I got led into Sandra Bland, and so I started studying Sandra Bland, and I said, "Damn, man, this is messed up how they did Sandra Bland or Sandy Bland." And then I thought about the last name Bland. Bland represents bland, like tasteless food and things like that. I thought about that. And then all these things just started popping up in my head. Then somebody was showing how the mugshot was her dead, and that was then somebody said that's a rumor. People are trying to mess people up with this, So whether you believe that or not, they're saying that the mugshot, she's saying she's already dead. They're saying she's already dead. Then you have other people who are saying that the lady in the precinct is not even Sandra Bland, and the video that they presented all day in that daggone room in Texas, trying to keep themselves out of trouble on people saying that they killed her in the jail. So they did that to try to prove themselves out of a murder charge, which I disagree with. Also, Sandra Bland was a black activist, and she was a YouTuber. She spoke about a lot of things. Also, there's and this is recorded and documented in the news of Chicago news. She was moving from Chicago to Texas. On her way to Texas, or I won't say that. On a highway in Chicago, she ran into a motorcycle. And the dude flipped off the motorcycle, and the motorcycle got stuck in the back of her car. The same car, it looks just like the same car that she got pulled over with when she got, hampered by the policeman and all this shit happened, and then she ended up dying. Okay? We also know that she's apparently a heavy Christian. Alright? Her mother almost seems to be in the church, like a part of the church, whether she's a minister or a reverend or something. I have no idea, a pastor, but something is up with her mother too, because she used the word Jesus very strong in one of her first interviews. All right. So when that happened, I started thinking about the word bland and the word white, and because this is no disrespect to the Caucasians, but people always talk about how when they make food, it always needs to be seasoned, right? And this is the reason why they fell so much in love in the past with the soul food, because the niggas, you know what I mean, knew how to season the food, especially because this is derived from their ancestors who were given slop, you know what I mean, to eat when they were slaves. Excuse me. And they still giving our relatives in Africa slaves, in Africa, like porridge and shit. Some type of fucking slop that they're giving them, telling you to give your money away. So, I ended up, things started happening, I'm studying Sandra Bland and and all of a sudden, a blending in of what is to be known of as cloning came to me. I don't know why. I said, what is up with this cloning? You know what I mean? Because I was on David Bowie, I was on Black Star. He was talking about how he was born upside down and all this stuff. I was like, yo, this dude is on it. And he's clearly has studied some occult, knowledge. Such as I have. So, and Kabbalah and all that. So, I don't remember how I got into it. The cloning shit. But I think what happened was I started looking up, let me see, how they would have been able to have somebody else in the jailhouse other than Sandra Bland, if it wasn't Sandra Bland. Because I almost started feeling like maybe that wasn't Sandra Bland, and maybe Sandra Bland is somewhere else alive. Maybe they killed her and they just had to utilize this whole thing because she was already known. She was a black activist and she had just got a new job that very same day to be a leader in some type of student counseling. And I think it was about being accepted and things like that. And so I started Googling cloning. This is David Bowie was giving this shit to me. I can't tell you why. So I started Googling cloning, and I ran into a book that I have not read yet, but somebody is saying to read this. It's called Irreducible Mind. The first thing that came to me was Transcendence, that people have forgotten. It's a movie that Johnny Depp was in. It's called Transcendence. Buy the movie, download the movie, do whatever you gotta do. Okay? Very key that you watch this movie. And then remember that Johnny Depp, who I call a niner, there's niners and then there's 11ers. I call him a niner. Pirates of the Caribbean, all that. Remember I said the Caribs. See, this is another reason why he might be coming to me too, because Johnny Depp played in Pirates of the Caribbean. He made mad money on that. And I told you in the last video that I have descendants apparently who are of the ancient Caribs or the Caribs. The word Caribbean derived from the word Carib. Other movies dealing with consciousness being transferred. The new show that's coming out, or that's already, the pilot was shown, it's called Second Chance. Okay? Where this old man basically dies and is given a second chance. I think he jumps off a building or something and kills himself, but I don't know that. Another movie, okay, they also put him into some type of aquarium, and it's like a bluish type of liquid, a bluish type of holographic person in there, and then he basically becomes younger and younger and younger and younger and younger till about in his 20s or something, to where he's at his peak, you know. And then that's how the show is going to end up popping off. The movie Lucy, okay, very, very good movie, and you should check it out. Lucy is dealing with this blue liquid substance. It relates to transcendence, and it is dealing with the downloading of consciousness, right? Except for Lucy was downloaded into the Wi-Fi. She was downloaded into the invisible Wi-Fi, okay? Also, that's dealing with waves, dealing with Aquarius, okay? Another movie, Jupiter Ascending. Now, that's with the chick who played in the 70s show, and then with the other guy, he's a white guy. You know, he's like a Jupiterian. He's an alien or whatever. He helps her. Jupiter Ascending. She is the one that represents. She is Jupiter, and she's ascending. Now, there's a show called Orphan Black. Okay. Jupiter's mother and Jupiter Ascending is the same mother as the mother in the show Orphan Black, comes on BBC. Okay, and this Orphan Black show deals with clones and cloning. Now, the main adult that they cloned all of the mini girls from, I forgot the lead character's name. She's a girl, and she's the one who has been cloned, right? But the seemingly surrogate mother is a black woman. So their mother, all of those clones' mother, is a black woman. Or we'll say that their surrogate mother is a black woman. Meaning that they utilize the black womb to create the clones of this adult woman, right? And the black woman is the mother, okay? Now, like I told you, in essence, I'm telling you that the black woman is the mother of the clones. The woman who is the mother of the main character in the show Orphan Black, who is a clone herself, her mother the clone was adopted into the family. That makes her a mother. All right? She's her mother, not by blood, just like she is what is known as a handler. A handler. They handle the clones. Okay? So she, along with her gay bisexual brother, it was a clone. They're clones. Okay? All of those girls are clones. And the adopted mother of the clone is the same mother of Jupiter in Jupiter Ascending. She's a white Scottish woman with black hair. I seem to be connecting her in an energy aspect, and that what the Illuminati would utilize as an energy principle aspect as the goddess Brigitte. The goddess Brigitte. The goddess Brigitte, also representative as the goddess dealing with the symbol of the cow, of the crow, Carrotwin, I think. Any type of deities living in the tree, feminine aspect, an owl, all that. But mainly the gene of Isis. Okay, Aset, Isis, Genesis, gene of Isis, genetics, eugenics, genes, gene of Isis. Okay, and we're not dealing with a race of people in general. We're dealing with an ascension process of the evolving mind, which represents the divine logos known as Tahuti, and nature, which represents Isis or Aset, and the two combining, birthing the messenger, which is Horus, which represents Christ consciousness or the awakening of the soul, to bring forth this new awakening of the new evolution of consciousness and the mind, and it trickling down into the particles of light, and the particles representing the atoms of your body. Okay, and the main article for this is the endocrine system and the central nervous system. Okay, what is being cloned is the melanins. The melanins are being cloned. The melanins is called promelanin it's just a lot of stuff. All right. So, real quick on the cloning. Okay, another movie, Surrogates, with Bruce Willis. Surrogates. Bruce Willis also played a movie called Looper, and that deals with some stuff. But the movie Surrogates, right, has your boy who played in the movie Valentine. You know, he dressed up as a dyke or whatever. Ving Rhames, black dude. He's the main one. He's the fighter. He's like a damn revolutionary character. Okay, and the surrogates are out to get him. And then they find out that he using a surrogate body himself. I've watched the movie a couple times, and I'm going to watch it again because we're in the season right now of, I don't know, of cloning. And I'm going to get to some shit that just came to my consciousness on my Michael Jackson dreams, which I documented on my YouTube. Okay. I'm trying to do this within an hour. I got 20 minutes left. Facts on now. Before I do this, the fact list. This is what got me on the cloning and consciousness. Okay. B.O.B. B.O.B. and Wale. All right. I'm a hip hop artist, so I know some shit. Wale had a mixtape album called Studio 43, which is number 7. Studio 43. He from DC. He did the bongo. I forgot what they call that shit down up there. Shit. Anyway, y'all know the music, the DC music. Now, The Hunger just finished downloading. Okay, David Bowie. Now, which was I was 1 year old when that movie came out, The Hunger. Now, B.O.B. when he first came out, remember that one song? Beautiful girls all over the world. Him and your boy, who they now call a fucking hip hop artist. Man, I don't even like to say his name. It's too high. Too high. Okay. She'll say hallelujah. She'll say hallelujah. I forgot how the song went, but y'all know what I'm talking about. It was real heavy. They had on the radio for, all year last year, man. It was crazy. Bruno Mars. Okay? Bruno Mars. Mars, the word Mars. The Martian, Matt Damon. That might have a coincidence. I don't know. We're dealing with synchronicity right now. Bruno Mars is his name. He's on the piano and shit in the movie. B.O.B. That was a good song, and that was one of his radio hits, right? And it wasn't no negative thing on girls. The video was good. All that, right? So, when I found out that B.O.B. Now, and then Wale, Studio 43. Wale was ill. He was nice. He seems to have been a little conscious. He had some lyrics. Studio 43, the mixtape, right? Wale, one of the last ones before he got a deal. Both of these niggas, if I ain't mistaken, Wale, B.O.B., they signed to Rick Ross, Maybach Music. Double R, double M, I don't know. B.O.B., 2 B's, I don't know. It's just crazy to me, man, that would happen. I said, why in the world would would B.O.B. sign to Rick Maybach Music Ross? Why would he do it? Why would he sign to this damn correctional officer, man? I just didn't understand. Other than money. But what happened was his flow changed. He started rapping like he was the straight up Rick Rossian, you know what I mean? Like he was, and the same thing happened with Wale. Don't believe me, go back to the old music, man. And y'all should know about B.O.B. because that was mainstream. They shit changed up dramatically, and they got on Rick Ross's label, and all this shit just got ugly and nasty. And I just didn't even care about B.O.B. anymore, man. Fuck B.O.B. You know what I mean? So then I ran into this damn dealing with downloading consciousness and shit. I'm still studying cloning and downloading consciousness. I was really studying the downloading of consciousness and things, because what happened was I was watching the David Bowie video Lazarus, and it was very strange. Lazarus combined with the Black Star, he did something very strange. So this came from B.O.B. exposes Illuminati. It came from that video. Us dealing with the video is titled Illuminati Clones, Human Cloning Exposed, right? And it had that B.O.B. in there talking about how he believed that he don't answer these things completely. They asking about, what you think you was cloned? He say, hey, it ain't. He's basically saying, hey, it ain't far fetched, yo, because if you knew what I knew in the music industry and what's going on and dealing with clones and cloning, then you wouldn't think of me as being so far fetched. He's been asked, is he a part of the Illuminati? B.O.B. This is all dealing with Rick Ross and shit, man. After him signing to Rick Ross and his shit changing up, He don't even answer the question. He doesn't even answer the question, is he in Illuminati? So that's very weird. But I just want y'all to go get on YouTube, type in B.O.B. and then clones, and the video will pop up. All right. I don't have time to explain everything on that, but a couple facts on cloning. 1952, frogs were cloned. 1970, Lord Rothschild recommended human cloning. In 1970, there was also, I guess, rumor of a wealthy clone, a human being clone. This was a wealthy, rich person. He was unnamed. In 77, that happened. In 1981, mice were cloned. Mice were cloned. If I'm not mistaken, these mice were cloned by one brownish black mice. In 1997, humans are allegedly cloned. And this is what I mean by that. As I go to this CNN webpage, CNN.com/2013/10/30/health/cloning fast facts. Okay. In 1998, more than 50 mice are reported cloned from a single mouse over several generations. Also, there were 8 cows cows that were cloned from a cow. One cow. Excuse me. Now, in 2001, Advanced Cell Technology of Worcester, Massachusetts, to me that sounds like a British operative undercover, says it produced a 6-cell cloned human embryo in research aimed at harvesting stem cells. Keep this in mind because in 2004, Barack Obama said he was not going to run for presidency. He hadn't even been a part of the U.S. Senate, if I'm not mistaken. He doesn't have the experience. In 2006, he said he was ready to run, like he had all kind of experience. He was ready to run. And he signed a bill that allowed stem cell research to continue. Okay? Google it. 2001, 5 bulls are cloned from a champion bull by the name of Full Flush. In 2002, a kitten was reported cloned from adult cells along with rabbits. Okay? In December 27th, 2002. Now, this is what CNN does when dealing with the human cloning. Clonaid, which is a corporation apparently, claims to produce first human clone, a baby girl by the name of Eve. Claims is the word that CNN is putting in there now, because maybe Clonaid have not studied their organization, and maybe it's not American, I don't know. So, January 23rd, 2003, right around the corner, Clonaid, Clonaid, claims to have cloned the first baby boy. The baby was allegedly cloned from tissue taken from the Japanese couple's comatose 2-year-old boy who was killed in an accident in 2001. Clonaid was never provided or has never provided physical evidence of the cloning. See, this is what they do. This is CNN presenting the report to you. So, they're every time somebody says something about human cloning, they always want to put it in the word alleged. They claim there is no evidence of this, right? But when they're talking about plants and animals, they just say, hey, it was cloned. Hey, this was cloned. It was done in America, so we know it was cloned, This is crazy. So, for instance, Dolly, everybody know about Dolly. She lived till about 6 years old because she had lung disease. They euthanized her. May 4th, 2003, the first mule is cloned at the University of Idaho named Idaho Jim. June 9th, 2003, researchers Gordon Woods and Dirk Vanderwall from the University of Idaho and Ken White from Utah State University claims to have cloned a second mule. They did use the word claim right here. Maybe because it's Utah, and Utah's still with Mormons. All right. Then it goes on and on and on, man. I gave you the website. You can type in CNN cloning fast facts and you'll come to it. The first thing you'll see is a big ass picture of a spooky looking picture, really, of Dolly the sheep. Okay. Now, according to George Green in an interview, he speaks on synthetic humans and human cloning. Now, when I say synthetic, think about the word or the movie Surrogates, and go back and watch the movie Surrogates. Think about how they have to pull this thing out of the back of their head, right around the area where they say your inner television screen is, where everything gets flipped right side up, and you get to see right side up what you think you're seeing outside of yourself. Okay, and remember what I just said about David Bowie telling you in Black Star that we were born upside down. It's very strange that he would say that, and we already know that Earth, Wind, and Fire says that we are a shining star. You know what I mean? And that niggas, Kendrick Lamar said niggas are stars, right? And the saxophonist for David Bowie's new album states that in an interview that he and the band, and I guess along with David Bowie, was listening to Kendrick Lamar throughout the sessions of making this album Black Star, because they felt like it wasn't purely hip hop and that it was some type of transitional phase of music. And they congratulated the little nigga, which I do too. And both of his albums, in my opinion. But I will say this: there was a mixtape by Kendrick Lamar, or an album prior to him being so famous. I forgot the name of the album, but there are Kabbalah symbols in the background on the album. I'll find it for you if I remember, if y'all care. If not, type in Kendrick Lamar Kabbalah. Maybe Kabbalah cover, and maybe it'll pop up. I ain't got time to do that right now, I don't think. You know what I'm saying? It's apparently only got 9 minutes.